Video is okay. I think it should work fine. Not too low and hopefully not too high. Let's see here. Okay, so it's working. Okay, great. So hope everyone is doing fine or great, whichever you like. Hope you're all doing good. And today we will be continuing on the scene that we've been working on for the past few weeks, on and off, a few hours every time. And today what we have is we're gonna be working on more of the lighting. So the last time I said that I would be setting up things for compositing that I was doing off stream, and I did some more work on the scene that is for the daytime. I separated out the two scenes into separate blend files because I wanted to just have it easier organized, and also just with a better and easier overview of the things. And while I'm explaining these things, there have been some changes to some materials in the scene, to the overall lighting as well compared to before. I just didn't like how it was looking, the mood overall looking. It was too dark, and also I've asked for some feedback, and it was constructive, obviously, and it helped, I think, a lot to make the scene look more coherent and better in that way. And yeah, so before the last version, on the last stream when we finished, it was looking like this, and I did like some parts of this scene, but then again some other parts, like the lighting hitting here, the dress was nice. Then again here, this volumetric was nice. That everything else was a bit darker was nice, but overall it was here. I preferred actually the floor. So as I was going on and iterating on the different versions, so testing out things, seeing what could work, what would be better. So we ended up now with, I changed this material that I mentioned, that I was changing some things to have a bit more interest, something more yeah, just in general something more interesting going on with the table, since it's just a flat plane. Here it's not really visible, but there is a material that should give it actually a bit of bumpiness, but well, let's see with that one. And yeah, so here we have now the lighting. we will need to work more on the lighting of the character, because here it's a bit too strong. There is, I think, some light that I left off from the since I worked on the scene that is burning the character a bit. But yeah, I was fixing some issues here with the mirror, and since it's also the focal point of the general action that is happening, so I try to emphasize this part more, because here it was just almost not noticeable. And yeah, this will be the direction which I will be going forth then for the daytime scene. And yeah, for the nighttime, I will see. I need to still work on this one and play a bit. Maybe I even change the colors a bit, for not to have the orange and blue tones. Maybe do a different color palette in this case. So let's see about that, how we will proceed. So in general, it's I'm quite happy with the difference now, with how it's looking. I would like to get maybe some less almost shadows here on this part, maybe some softer lighting on these parts here, because these parts here look a bit harsh. And yeah, we could maybe lower this light here now so that it's not too obvious. And then this could be, all in all, quite good. We might do something here for the chair. Maybe just disable the lighting on it, or add a separate one so that it's not burning in the specular itself. So yeah, here we go, as we see in the render view. And yeah, in the meantime, I was setting up as well some different shots that are looking quite nice. Might even render the animation from these different angles. That could work quite nicely. But let's see. So here I've changed a bit the shader, and even though there is a bump node, it's not actually that visible. Let's see here. I wanted to have just some sort of noise to add a bit of imperfection to the surface of the material. Because the other one is doing this here, but it should be actually changing. Yeah, it is. So yeah, the idea was to have the difference in the reflections here, so that it's interacting a bit differently with depending on the angle. But yeah, maybe this angle that we have here is not maybe the best for showcase this material. So what we can do here more. Oh, we lost the music. What happened here? Let's check just a second. And go again with this one. This one is okay. This one can play here in the background. And let's continue on here with the lighting of the character, because now I just have this light here that is the one that is burning him. So let's can lower the light here. Already he's already more integrated in that way into the scene than when he was with the overexposed light. So we can maybe play a bit with some fill light maybe here to add a bit of extra information, although it might not be necessary. So for example, I don't have any constraints here, and it's only for the character, so we could theoretically duplicate this one and call this a bounce. Let's track it or to the character. Have too many things here, so like this should work as well. Now so we can add some extra light here. Maybe add even like a fake rim light just on this side here, depending how that will look. Let's see here, and let's keep the color the way it is for now. Okay, we don't need that many windows here. Okay. The windows are messing me up here. Let's keep just this one open, and so this one should create. I was thinking of doing it like from the floor, but then maybe better rim light. And this one I think from the set I left on for the character. No, one of them is affecting him here from this part on, that is creating this I think it's the spot here. It's this focus light that is affecting both. I'm gonna rename it, or we can put general, so that this light that we know that is affecting everything. Let's turn off everything for a moment so that we can focus here on the other lights that we have. And I wanted to see if this one is also affecting the character. Yes. So we have these two lights being used as general, supposed to just fake a bit more lighting here on the characters, and also add a better point of interest on the mirror itself. So we have these two lights adding here this lighting. Let's see. Can actually leave it to have a bit more. One moment. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Sorry for that, for the interruption. Let's continue on. So I was tweaking this light here that we could leave in general to add a bit more lighting onto the scene here, onto this part. This is fine for me, I think, because then this one is doing this, and then this one is adding this light here. Only I would like to add light onto the characters. Now it's currently tracking onto the mirror itself, but I would prefer to have a bit more control here. And have something like this. going on here, and then maybe we can tilt it only so slightly. We can lower the spot size itself so that we get only the effect mostly on the character and on the mirror itself. Because if we go and get something super soft. So now due to the profile as well, we don't need to go, like usually the spotlights in Blender are, if I remember correctly, usually they are just working like you need to put in the value. Let's say we duplicate this light here and we turn it off. We turn off the other one and we remove these nodes, right? So okay, we leave the emission, but we remove the rest. So now we have the strength at 1, but now the power is at 2 and it's not doing anything compared to the other one where at 2 it's actually lighting the scene quite well, so we don't need to go super high values. So for example, in this case, if we go 50, nothing. If we go 500, nothing. 5,000, at 5,000 it starts to actually light the scene. So I think in general it's also nice to not have to go to super high values in this case, and we can always tweak with like if we hold shift while we are scrubbing the onto the power level of the light, and we can fine tune and go into decimals and fine tune the light ever so slightly. So for now, I would say with these two lights, we are getting a lot of lighting on the character already. And then if we add the fill light here from the left side, and maybe we could actually go with the same as the ambience here to add a bit more blue to the character that we have here, the bluish pinkish tone. Violet, I would actually say more. And we can maybe try and see how this one looks, just to integrate the character even further, since we already have this sort of light coming here from the back. So I think it's gonna work nice. Yeah, we got zoomed in here. Look at those details and those fibers. Let's see if we'll be able to see them in the renders as well, if they're not too small of a detail. And let's I'm inclined to do here another lighting group and call this general lighting, that is affecting both the character and the set. And here another here, let's put this color here just so that we have this separation. And we still have this light on, so if we turn it off, we know it's the general light. So let's see here. like to add more softness to these shadows that I mentioned before. And let's see if we can do it with this one here. We increase the spread. Now we know, since we increase the strength, now we know which part, how much it's affecting it. So we can lower it now by a third maybe, or a half. Let's see. A half isn't too bad. Maybe even 15. You know, we can leave it at 25 and let's see then later on. So turn off this one. Let's check. Here we have these lights are not doing too much, because here it's almost burning now, this specular from this reflection, from this gold material here. I'm not sure if maybe it would be better to increase the roughness, just so that we don't have this this super bright line going on here in the back. Let's see here. Okay, this one isn't affecting it this much. This one, yes. Why is the scaling so off here? Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay, and this part here, on the top. Hmm. It wasn't really. It wasn't really the scale that I was expecting. So if we control a bit more here, this mask, I think with this we could actually have lowered it enough. So as I said before, these are just minor tweaks to some materials now that I'm looking at and iterating over the lighting and everything, just to be as close as possible to the final results, so that we don't need to do as much as needed in compositing, and this way we can have more or less the things pretty much at 80-90% done in Blender and in lighting, and the material setup as well, obviously here. And then we can tweak some things, maybe add some, like I said, some grading, add some overlay noise, so that we fake the camera effect, the camera lens effect, and yeah, some post-processing there we can do, and then call it a day for this project. So we have these lights are here turned off from the table. We're gonna keep them off in this occasion. We're gonna use them for the night scene here, as we did. And yeah, overall, I think this is now looking quite nice. Here I did already this version. It's not the same as the well, because I did it before this video. Can leave it here. We can make another render later on. And let's now turn off the lighting on the picture frames. We're gonna leave the general lighting on, and we're gonna start by turning on slowly the lights here of the set as well. So this one here, just to double check, this one is a floor bounce that is here for bouncing the light which is hitting the floor here to emulate the how do you say, well, the global illumination. And we can leave this one where it is. Maybe do this here, add more. What if we add a lot of spread here, and then we can lower it by a lot so that we have only a slight bit of lighting from the floor, because I don't want too much neither. So something like this. It might even smooth out a bit these harsh shadows here on the lower part of these of the scrolls themselves. So hopefully this helps. If not, maybe I'm gonna have to play a bit more with the lighting there. And let's go then to the second bounce. This one is for taking as well the lighting coming from the floor, just a bit, a slight tad, so that this part, because it's almost going into the blacks here, it's still visible. We can keep it low like this, and I think it's going to be fine. Here we can do this. We don't want it to clip here into the floor here, because it might cause some visual errors that might be super visible. So yeah, in general, the lighting now on the character is, I think, looking quite well, quite good. More or less in all of his poses, we have a bit of shadow going on, which is nice. I like it. Although here maybe in this case looks maybe a bit too much, but I don't think it's a. Here we can go in super close and zoom in. I think this is enough. This is fine. This is just gonna work beautifully later on. So yeah, let's stick around these frames here, and let's turn on. So we have this fill light here from the back that is lighting up quite a bit the scene. It's actually I've put it up as a general fill light for the whole room to add a bit of this violet lighting, which, well, could you maybe lower it a bit? Let's do this trick here where we can keep this color, and then if we switch on frame 2, we can change it to something darker, just to see what it's going to affect. Let's turn on the next one here. Did I not? I didn't keyframe it. Okay, let's darken it up a bit. So something like this, that is not too bright. And so now we have these two things going on, and we can move them around depending on what we need, where we want them, and we can then test out these two lighting scenarios. That is I think quite a quick way to do it. No need to, and we can check the frame that we like, for example, or the frame that we are working on, without changing the color all the time. So, and then later on, depending on which one we prefer, we can then just leave this lighting on for later. We have here a fill light for the mirror itself. That is here, super close for the generally this side here that is facing the camera, because it gets a bit dark as well. Then we have another here that is for the window. So this one is doing this, that we might lower a bit so that it's not going. I think that this light is actually creating these, giving us these harsh shadows here, which might be a bit too much, so that we could increase the fall off here, the radius, so that we get some smoother shadows. This is looking already nice compared to what we had here. They were super sharp here. So I think this one is good the way it is for now. Then we have here another light that is a fill for the table itself, that we can, let's see here, I'm inclined to add another fill light and use the same dark lighting, maybe even this one here, this color, and use this. We can add We can name it cold, for example, hillside, and we can call this table so that we know both of these lights are just for the table. We could put them in the table collection here as so. And turn these two lights off completely. And so now we know that if we turn this one off as well, we're just lighting here the table itself. Let's move this light to the other side. Let's put our color that we wanted to put here. And then lower it by quite a bit. So that we have these three tones of a slight fill tint, and then we have some shadows, and then we have the fill light coming from the right side from the window, taking this lighting here, which we could lower by quite a bit. Let me see here, see one light that is affecting the floor here quite a lot. Let me see, is it because of the table? Yeah, it's the table. So this one we should have, let's do a light group, light linking. And exactly, we wanted light linking for the table, so we could leave it at that and just have these lights here, the teapot. Okay, we want this, just a table, and we can where is it now? Now we have a lot of things going on already right now. Oh, let's turn these things off so that we can have an easier way to manage the light linking process. I believe this pin should help to have these things selected so that, yeah, okay, so this one works. So that we can add these these geometries to the light linking group, because we don't want it to be affecting the floor. And I think that for this part here as well, we don't want for the cold fill to be affecting. Interesting. Why isn't the naming changing here? Wait a minute. I did it wrong. Yeah. Okay. Let's create a new one. So this one, let's keep it as this. and add the table to this collections. So now we have it affect, well, now we have the light affecting the table, but not the rest of the scene. Now let's see which light is actually creating as well this this harsh lighting here on these chairs. Then maybe I will have to tweak the roughness a bit of the material itself. So even if I go full roughness here, it's not helping. So I think I know. Let me guess. Yeah, it's this one here. So this one is doing its thing. But it's doing its thing a bit too strong for let's see if we can exclude just these two chairs, because I think they're just providing me some issues here. So like this, we turn them in both parts off, and even though it's not directly lighting them, it's looking still fine. Let's see here. Could work like this as well. So just by changing a bit the direction here, we're already removing here the amount of lighting that is coming onto the chairs. So let's yeah, if I turn off the specular, then I'm gonna be losing the information here on the floor itself as well, which I prefer not to do. So I prefer to keep it. Want to lower this value a bit here for the floor's specularity or roughness, better say. We have a bit more of a bit more roughness going on here. Even though, let me see here one thing. I want to test something. Okay, I was thinking that the shading isn't working on this, but there's just no light coming here on the floor, so it's not really reacting to any lighting, but that's fine. Okay, let's keep it like this. So now we have this one set up, this one's set up, we have the pictures as well. Let's go on here where we have the lighting going darker a bit, because here we did the little trick with the ambient light. Move this a bit. Whoa, not local. Why are we moving both in different directions here? Wait a minute. It shouldn't be happening. Okay. Let's just move one by one. And I'll be right back here. Okay, let's continue on. Let's continue on. I would like to, looking at this part here, not have such harsh shadows here, which are being created by this spotlight here. But then we are losing this this focus here a bit. We're decreasing the lighting here a bit, or we could maybe increase the radius. We can turn everything off here. Let's try keeping it like this. I mean, I can try adding a bit some fill here, but well, I don't think it's that big of a deal in this case. Later on we'll have the volume as well here, I think. So this light here is, I would prefer to use this same light for this one. So it's more integrated, and then lower it as well. Maybe 15 or even lower. So yeah, I'm starting to like more the darker tone here, the less just the darker tone of violet. Felt a bit unnatural in a way, like a bit too strong, like where if it's some sort of regular daylight scenario, where would this light be coming from? Obviously, if we're doing something that is stylized, we can get away with it. You know, we can fake some lighting. Yeah, I'm doing here a quick screenshot just to compare these two images. wanted to make these curtains just a tad bit darker, less, a tad bit is less saturated. Might even do it for his clothes. I'm almost inclined. Oh, it's actually at 2. Yeah. So maybe we can keep it something like this. I think I did it just so he pops out more in the scene in general compared to the background. But yeah, we can lower the values now a bit. It doesn't need to be that strong. We can add here this part. Now it seems a bit like he's so here he feels a bit cold right now. So I added this rim here, this fill. I think I would prefer to just keep the fill light warm on him. I think in general it's looking better on the character than if he has this going on. Let's see here if we can put up some other mix I can have in the background while we are chipping away at this thing. We had some techno going on. Let's see about this one here. This is something super soft, maybe a bit too much for my taste right now. Let's keep it at that for now. So yeah, now we have as well less streaks of these speculars, this light on the floor, which is better. In any case, although I'm torn in between the super like brand new coated like floor and maybe having this sort which is more diffuse sort of floor could work as well in both cases. Just wondering what's going to happen here if we do some. How is it going to react to the rest of the scene with these super saturated colors? But yeah, maybe something in the middle could work. A bit. Slightly tinted, not too much. Maybe I would prefer it to be quite subtle. Let me save this, delete the keyframes. Let me see here. So we might be facing an issue here with the. Let's see here. Now the character seems definitely a bit overblown with the light. And now I'm getting some weird shadows here on the floor. Hmm. Let's see here. This this material is now super dark. So what I will do here, I will keep this one here for the night scene, because this one has this thing set up already. I'm gonna turn this one here off and have, although let's see here. If we can, in this case, since the scene is the way it is, maybe we can just keep it here a bit more diffuse. We can keep it like this. It's more or less doing the same as here, but without the lights, so that it's not going here completely black. So let's keep it like that. Let's go here into the wireframe mode and play a bit here with this light. Mm-hmm. I want to keep the glossy part, but I think I could do this here. I prefer to have this sort of light here coming from there. And to have it here. So now this should work better in general. And this one is still burning the character here. Might have to go something like this, a bit of a bigger radius, and then with the other one we are filling this part here of the space, and Then if we turn on the character light, now he's again back into balance. And let's adjust a bit here. Either the radius as well here a bit. Let's see what we get. Just want to focus here on the character itself and just turn off the rim, the key, and we can leave the fill. So maybe something like this could work. And we don't want it to be completely white because this is just going to burn the character completely. So now it's already looking quite nice. And then if we add this one more line, that is, then this one is adding that extra highlight on the character. So I think like this, it should work. So if we now turn on the general lighting, he shouldn't be burning, which I think it's working. There's maybe here a bit of white going on, but I think it should be fine. Not sure if this is the... What is it using here? Oh. Let's try to save quickly so that it doesn't crash. Something happened here when I changed the material, although Blender usually never fails, always has a safe autosave feature that saves your life in case something goes wrong. But it looks like the viewport isn't responding. Not sure what happened. The moment that I changed the material, it didn't like it. Let's try going again into the render view and see what's going on. Okay, looks like we are operational again, so to say, right? So yeah, it was actually using the wrong material. Although I would like to have the same setup here. and blend those two shaders together, and the displacement and the bump. But I think I already copied that over. Let me see here. Let me compare these two views. Yeah, so we just need to, in reality, we just need to connect this part here into the displacement. And let's add this node here so that we have the same hue and saturation tone going on. But we don't see actually see the material here. This one is going directly into the displacement. Let me see here. Scale, no. We are killing Blender slowly with this. Yeah, the viewport isn't liking this, because I'm not sure if it's actually doing anything here. Although when I was looking on the material of the suit, it definitely did work. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Well, it doesn't matter. There are so little details that I think we literally won't be able to see them. So let's do a final check here. Let's go to this frame here. Let's go again to the render view. We should be working again. There we go. Oh, we turn this one off. We turn this one on as well. here, and which one is this here? The lamp. It should be there. Okay. I'm not sure exactly. It's too much lighting going on here. It's burning this this let me see here for a moment. The spotlight might be going here quite strong, so yeah, no wonder that we are seeing on the other side that it's maybe burning the window itself. Although it's not this that is weird, it's the material actually. So I would like to have a quick check here in the UV. It's interesting that it's changing so much the color in that way. It's this thing here. Let's see here. Is there any... Yeah, there is some normal information. So what is it doing now? Some weird stuff is going on here now. So yeah, this should be fine. So now we don't have this dark border here. I have a feeling that almost it's not getting affected by this light here that I have as a fill light for the hello. Hello, I'm selecting it, yes. I have a feeling that it's not affecting the gold. I think the light linking, yeah. It's not affecting it. It looks like the light linking broke for some reason here. It's either this or let me see here. This mirror had before some shading issues that I've fixed in the meantime, and then now this part of the metal it's not working as it's supposed to. What could we do? What could we do here to fix this? I don't know if actually this could do something, this smoothing by angle. But it's still .35 was fine. There is something wrong with this metal here that I still can't figure out exactly what is going on, because it should have some sort of information, like we can see here on the glasses on the table. So I'm not exactly sure if I should unwrap these things again. It's a bit of an eyesore that it's doing these things. But what can we do? We can fix it. This is what we can do. So let's pick these things up. And this one is invisible, so we don't care really for this. It shouldn't have any effect really, because it's not being UV mapped. I don't know if it's I mean, it shouldn't be this hello? So weird. The undo isn't doing what it's supposed to. Hmm. I mean, it's still, I don't know. Yeah, it's still behaving weird from this angle. Hmm. Oh, it's not. It's not reacting the way it's supposed to. Let's try duplicating this and let's try something else here, because this is quite weird. It was the metallic, but this is super weird. It's not being affected by the light the way it's supposed to here. I mean, it should be affected differently in this way. I mean, for example, this material is, the wooden part is more or less burning, but this part is, it's getting affected super weird. If I select all of these metal parts, I think I might need to separate it and try to do something here. I don't know if yeah, the geometry isn't the best neither here in this case. Might be even, yeah, there's some shenanigans going on here that I prefer not to bother with at this moment in time. I will try to do a bevel here just to see what's going to happen. Still don't understand why it's not reacting to the light as it's supposed to do. Okay. It's like that meme, like, what? What is this now? Is there something going on with the base, with the principled BSDF? No. Super weird, this. Hmm. These values are super weird for this asset here. I mean, I'm gonna try here some weird things. A subdivision surface, or was it? I'm afraid that this is going to break this model into tiny bits and pieces just because of the triangles and the geometry. Or maybe it's not going to work at all. Maybe we kill Blender here. I'm getting a white screen here right now. It's not responding. So for sure the autosave feature that everybody loves in Blender is going to save the date, or maybe not. Look, it's actually trying to do something here. Turn this off so we don't see it in the reflection here. I still have a super weird feeling about, I mean, these parts, it's like the normals are inverted or something, but when you look at it, it's fine. Oh, this one got flipped. Okay, let's delete this subdivision surface here. It's behaving super weird, this piece of geometry. I'm not sure if actually what could be done here. I tried unwrapping it, I tried fixing the shading itself. What I didn't try yet is deleting this part of the geometry, and that's it. But the way it's reacting, it's not correct. If I flip the normals, it's not working neither. And I mean from here. It's looking weird as well. And this shouldn't have anything to do with the general with the general lighting settings. I mean the render settings, because everything else is being rendered as it should, except this here, except this piece of geometry that for some reason let's try this. Let's see here the let's try. Is it actually going to do something or not? I'm not sure anymore what I could do here. So now we don't need this one here. Now we have only this. So now it is behaving a bit differently. Looks like it, at least. At least on this part. Let's see this one here now. Yeah, it's reacting to the light differently now. I'm gonna try to copy these settings now here, because here on the mirror this is just not going to work. Whoa, super weird. Super weird. Wait a minute, where was this stuff connected then? Wasn't. Okay. Are we back again with the same thing or what? It's definitely not doing what you would expect here. I mean, it looked like it's working, but it's doing some weird things here. Hmm. Let's check this angle one more time, and I think it's just behaving so weird with even this angle, and just in general, even though it's quite dark here, but it behaved better here in the darker scene. Here I had a wrong material. Yeah, look here. Here it was working fine, but here now, for some reason, exactly like the character's face after looking at this material for so long. Huh? Why? Why is it like this? Why doesn't it work? I am surprised as well. I want to do one more last thing here, and that is just hide it, because literally I don't know. I'm not sure. What other things I could do to fix this. I don't know if adding some sort of creasing to the general meshes in total, if this would actually do something. Okay, we're not transparent here. Like this. My goodness. It's just behaving so weird. Well, the general brightness here isn't doing much, I think. I think I'm just gonna should have done this, I think, before and just left it without this metal levels at without this metallic. Lower it and just leave it like that. I have spent too much time on this mirror, even though it's obviously a big part of the focal point of this scene. I feel like could have been done a better way of handling this in general, but well, let's continue on. Just want to do a few more things and then we're gonna wrap it up for today. We are ready to do a few renders after that, and so we copied one light here, if I remember. Let's see here. Where are we? This one should be off as well. And the katana light here is now quite soft here. Can keep these values here for these pictures somewhere in these ranges. Okay, and we separated them. So now they all have just this material. We can clean this up here and remove, since this one, remove these leftover materials, since it's using just the paper. And maybe just maybe we can, let's see here. The scene had a few issues for me with the shading, to say so the least. So I feel like that I almost need to check, just in case, if everything is actually in order, because sometimes it looks like it's being lit properly, but then in reality it's not, and it needs to be addressed. Otherwise, it's just going to at some point just stand out, or it's going to look weird in the render itself. Okay. Let's go here to the render view. Let's do a quick render here. Let me just check here one more thing before we continue, before we do a render. I wanted to see what our volume here is doing. It's creating definitely a lot of volume. I'm not sure though if This is what we want here. For example, if we have just this one here, so both of them are affecting the volume scatter, although it's not so visible here. I would like to have one more. I'm just gonna leave this light here. I'm gonna turn off everything and just leave the volume scattering. We have an IES profile here as well, so should actually create quite a harsh volume here. Wait a minute. Why is it affecting the dress here? No. Wait a minute. We have this one, right? Did I not duplicate it? I did. Correct? Yes. I duplicated it. Okay. So turn off everything, leave the volume, and we need to remove the... okay. Okay, okay. So let's use the lighting that we have on the character. Here, let's see how it's going to look. And we can lower the value because this is obviously too much. Let's go something lower. And if we go super high, let's open a bit the radius here and let's do this like this. And we have a bit of volume going there as well. Now we can lower the intensity to, let's say, 10. So now the question is, if we leave the volume on this thing here, we're gonna have too much color going on here. So I think it would be better to leave it off. I'm not sure here though. Yeah. . here, these two things are off. I think it would be better to keep these things on. And let's see here. There's some lighting here. It's the set lighting. Well, it's actually this one. Okay, character lighting on. Character lighting on. The table should be lit as well. In this case here. Yeah, this one is definitely going now strong, too strong. Let's keep it this saturated in the end the way we had it before. So now the material is actually working as it should. Now we have a lot more specular here and a lot more details happening on the mirror. It's immediately popping out of the general environment. And let me see here. I would like to add, okay, both of these should have the volume scatter off. I would like to have here a bit more lighting information. So now let's lower here the density of the volume as well a bit. Let's save the scene here. Let's go then to the rendering view and let's hit on frame 153 like we had here. The version 9, let's hit render and let's just render the way we have the settings set up. Can do this. Yeah, let's leave it at 4K. I think that maybe I have one or two textures or a few textures maybe that are 4K, but I don't think so. And nothing that is more than subdivision 2 neither. It's not really. Can lower this. Yeah, let's try this, and volume resolution, let's put for the viewport half. We can do a bit more of optimization here. Let's do 9 just to have a bit more information going on here. Let's put 128. And yeah, this should do it. For some reason telling me that I am out of memory when I'm not. Should work just fine. And yeah, let's render it with the volume just to have one version with it. And then we are, I think, getting now quite close to the finished, let's say, product that we have here. I'm checking here some things there, and notice I have some duplicates for the live stream, some duplicate settings. In the meantime, while we are waiting here for the render, we're almost there. And yeah, what is left to do here is not many things. I already separated the character and the set into its different layers, and there is something really amazing. If you don't know, there is a person that is called and I want to give a shout out to, is Blender Bob on YouTube, and he has some amazing tools and amazing add-ons that he I don't know if it's him and maybe a team of people, or if it's just him, that they are creating some really amazing tools for Blender that we will put to use in the next session, and I'm gonna test them out as well off stream. That they should facilitate a lot and help a lot with the whole conversion for Blender, and how Blender is reading some of the vectors, motion vectors, and that is going to actually make it a lot easier for us to do compositing in that way. So yeah, shout out to Blender Bob for his amazing work that he's doing, and really looking forward to trying out the tools, because they look really like something that should be inside of Blender by standard, because they look like they can help a lot, and with rendering as well, just with grouping content, collections, lights as well. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things to test out. So now we have the render done here, and it's looking quite nice. Now finally, let's do a screen grab here, and we're gonna here put this on a bit larger, our pure ref scene. And yeah, let's copy this over. We can do a quick recap here, and we can call this version 0.2 and this one, well, 0.3, since I started the first one off stream. So yeah, we can see that this material, the shading just wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. And since the last session, I changed a bit the material and how these things, the cups and the teapot and everything feel like. And so we went from here, the last one, we were more or less picking things that were good since the beginning, and then iterating and kept on iterating. So here a bit of the volume that was looking nice, here the floor was looking nice, almost even this type of table isn't too bad neither. But yeah, all the way from version 1, where we can see that everything was still quite rough and quite work in progress. Now Now we are here. Let me just make this then a bit bigger. Pure ref can go over here the screen. We can see a bit better the So here we had in version 1 we had issues with shaders and materials all over the place. This was already I've started here to put textures and procedural shaders on more or less everything, the pictures as well, and yeah, in general everything had just a basic colorized material on it, except the character did come with its own textures. So those were used for the character, for the face, for that it has like a stubble beard, the eyes, and the suit. But we modified it so that it has a lot more detail, so that the fabric looks nicer with the lighting, the eyebrows as well, and added some SSS for the skin. And then, well, we started working on the different materials, from the dress to the table, defining the floor more. The asset here in the back as well was using a completely black material, just a color, plain color, nothing else. And yeah, the layout was like this, and these were the colors that we had here. I already placed a window here in the first version because I wanted to have some sort of lighting coming from the side, and I wanted to justify it in a way of adding a light in that way. So we started working here more on the general materials of everything, bit by bit. A bit on the table, a bit on the metallic, on the teapots, on the gold, so to say, on the parts here in the back here as well. I noticed at one point as well issues here with the material in the cupboards in the back. There was some weird shading going on there as well. Here, then we tested out some different ideas for the back part, and yeah, I was playing around a bit with some procedural noises for the glasses, for the cups, and then changing here, started adding some different color wall, and added I added here how do you say almost like it's not an aquarium, it's a glass container, to maybe add like a sense of premium, so that you're not supposed to touch it, let's say. uh, just something extra to have maybe a bit more as well later on, when I was thinking about adding lighting, to have something extra reflecting and bouncing off light, so that it's not just the sword. So, and it already, I think, looked nice with the glass there. And yeah, here we tweaked more the materials as well, and the floor itself. Here still we can see this material, this gold, wasn't working actually the way it was supposed to. And started to add lights here as well, define them a bit better, and looking at the general texture of the wall, which I found that it was looking quite nice. We fixed the boxes, the materials, or although they still had an issue here with the shading that we then, you can see here, when I actually put up, I changed the layout a bit. I put a picture here because this part is a bit empty, but it's not so. We might even add something here for the last render. But now we can compare. Here there was still some issues as well, and then in these versions, now we already had the floor material set up more or less correctly. The props in the background were now working properly with the lighting. They were reflecting the light as they should. The cupboard here in the back was fixed as well. And yeah, there was still some shading errors with these planes from which they were supposed to be like a paper. So there was still some issues with them, and they weren't so visible, but later on we fixed that as well. So yeah, here started playing a bit more with the lighting, with the general light direction, the mood, see how we could do it. Obviously I had here the lights on still, which at the time was fine, but I preferred here, for example, on version 6, I tried, for this reason I moved the picture, I tried to do a harsh contrast and just turn off all the lights. And then now here we had the materials already set up a bit more correct. And here you can see that this is still has an issue with the shading that we fixed. Then in the later version, it looks like it's a light issue, but actually it was a normal or a shading issue, shading error. And then we are getting close to one of our closer to our final versions. That here we have the parts that were nice here, for example, the lighting on the dress. I still again turned on the lights on the foreground and on the background on the biombo. Added here a small thing that is a trim that before didn't exist, just to have a bit something going on here as well. And here changed up, fixed the shading of shading error of the pictures, and this one, like we say, it was fixed. The parts in the back were fixed as well. And then I continued to work more on the general lighting, and I started to mess around a bit with volumetrics and see for a possible relight of the same scene, and do maybe a night version as well that we're gonna do on the next session. And yeah, here started to just copy and paste the scene from the daytime and just see what I could do here. And well, we can do quite a bit, because then later on we went from this here and from this one here in the bottom, we went to this one that is more contrasty, more orange in this case, coming from this side. Let's go here like this, and then we have here more cold from this side coming from the window. That was the idea here with the fog as well. So here I tried to do again a high contrast scene for the daytime, but I wasn't super happy with how this looked. Oh, sorry, it's getting a bit late. We're gonna wrap it up soon here. So let's continue on. This is then the last push that we have here from yesterday and today, where from this we went into this to put a bit more ambience into the general scene so that it's not so dark. Then I changed the shader of the table just to have a bit more interest here. We might keep, for example, like we had here, some roughness, or even here, something like this, so that we have a bit more detail on the table. And yeah, now we have some nice lighting going on here on the background. The dress is more or less the same. We have a bit more lighting and color here in the back area. I've gone back to the almost full specular floor, which is fine at the time, but it's too much because it's creating these almost artifacts like too much glossiness going on here. And yeah, I fixed in the latest version this super harsh glow, super harsh glossiness, not glow, of this top part of the table. And also the shadows here were quite harsh, quite strong. So this is something that needed to be addressed, and more focus on these two things. So the mirror itself and the character here. So these were the main focus parts, but I've done a lot on the environment so that it can integrate itself better. And later in this second version that we did during the stream, we changed a bit here, made it a bit less saturated, and here we can have some more darkness going on, and playing around here with adding a bit of fill light so that it's not completely dark, and then focusing more obviously again on this area. Now looking at it, maybe we still need to add a bit more of ambience here, but then in our latest version we did more or less this thing, and now we have obviously now the denoiser is doing here a lot of denoising because we have a low sample count and we have the volume in the scene. But now we have more or less the lighting where we wanted to have. We have a small bit of details shaping the chandelier. We have nice lighting on the curtains here and on the biombo and on the dress. We are starting to get some really nice details in general. The table and the lights here, I changed one light coming from here, from the back, so that we have more rim light actually on the cups. And yeah, we changed the lighting on the character a bit to have it warm, then to have it super cold. And finally, we have the metal parts here which weren't working for some weird reason. Now they're looking fine, although might still need to tweak the UV map here. the UV mapping, at least for these lower parts, just so that it's not that obvious. But we have the lighting hitting from the outside. We have the volume doing its thing, filling up the space nicely from here. This part in the back, as we said, is not too dark. The props in the back are looking just fine. And nothing, they're not standing out too much, not distracting too much from the general area of focus that is these things here. Only thing I'll need to check is the reflection here. That is probably too harsh. There's too much going on here in the mirror. But yeah, now the mirror it's looking much better, and now it's much brighter compared to the rest of the scene. So the attention is immediately going to here. So yeah, all in all, this is the progress, so to say, that we did today and from yesterday till today. And more or less we have everything ready for do at if nothing, we're gonna do a low res version render of the animation, and then we're gonna do as well the other version, the nighttime version, and we're gonna work on that one next. And yeah, that would be it more or less for today. Let's save our scene here. Hope everyone enjoyed the stream, whichever point you've stopped by and you checked it out. I hope you've enjoyed the content, and yeah, it's a personal project of mine, and I would like to then post it as well as a portfolio piece at one point. But obviously, I wanted to showcase in that way uh, ways that maybe some people didn't work or didn't know things, and maybe uh, it can help you guys in in your work, in your Blender scenes. And yeah, we're gonna keep pushing on, and then hopefully soon in the next few sessions we're gonna wrap this project up, and then I have something new, something that I had in mind, something that will be maybe in a, let's say, in a different mood, different way of different project. And yeah, I'm gonna keep you posted and updated when the time comes for it. Thanks for stopping by, and have a good night or good day wherever you are, and take care. Bye bye.